What's up? What's up, guys? What's going on? Hopefully, you guys can hear me and see me okay. I did a couple of test runs, but as you can see, I am not in my normal, comfy confines of my house. I am on location. Weather is kind of crazy, so just kind of, I don't know, taking a little bit of a mental break. But nevertheless, I know how much you guys look forward to Stock Watch Sunday, and I wanted to make sure that you guys still got your fill of the stocks that I'm watching this week. So nevertheless, the place that I'm staying at doesn't really have the best internet, so I had to come to a public location, which actually has some pretty great internet. If you guys are interested, McDonald's probably has the best internet in America when it comes to public places for whatever reason. It's pretty awesome. So, glad to have you here. Glad to that you guys show me so much support that you'll show up every single Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So thank you and kudos to you guys. Having said that, welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and this channel is dedicated to over-the-counter penny stocks. If you're interested in what we're watching this week, you've come to the right place. This is the only over-the-counter penny stock channel that I've been able to find that is specific to over-the-counter pennies. So if you're curious about them, wanting to know how to trade them, you've came to the right place. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. It's going to be a crazy week, I think. We got three stocks that I'm watching this week to see how they move, especially on Monday, and I'll explain why coming up. So if you guys are interested where these people are coming from, they're not just subscribers to my channel, but they are also part of my free community. It's called We Trade HQ. The links are down in the description below if you want to check it out. It's at WeTradeHQ.com. We have 4,000 members around the globe learning and growing and celebrating each other's success, and it's an absolutely amazing community to be a part of. So if you're not a part of it, come on over. Check it out. It's at We Trade HQ. It's not just dedicated towards penny stocks either. I know that this channel is, and I just emphasized that, but We Trade HQ is actually part of a larger community of not just penny stocks, but ETFs, big board stocks, options, futures, Forex, you name it. No matter what you're trading in the stock market, We Trade HQ is the place for you. So go check that out. All right. You guys, I don't even know who this Wheaton person is. But you guys seem to think it looked like him. It's pretty funny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys and show you what I'm... Oh, actually, hold on. Need to make an adjustment here. I just realized that. I made all these adjustments and forgot the screen share adjustment. So hold on one sec. Let me get you guys in view here, and we are good. All right. Boom. So if you guys are interested in what WeTradeHQ.com looks like, WeTradeHQ.com looks like this. So if you want to do technical analysis with trading view charts integrated right into the site, you can. You can talk to your friends about your favorite tickers. It's all here ready for you, and it's absolutely free. So the first ticker that I'm looking at this week is going to be HDVY. Now, I talked about this on my midday market recap, and it was on Friday, and it was a monster runner. It went from, 3 cents when a lot of us got into this. I personally got in around 5, scaled in around 7 and 9 cents, and sold my initial investment in the high teens. Was able to sell the rest of it around in the 9-cent range. The reason why I made this a complete day trade was because of some concerns with SEC reporting, and I'll get to that in a second. But the reason this is running and the reason that I'm watching this going into Monday is because of this 8K that came out on the 27th, and the 8K was it the 27th? 28th. I'm sorry. The 8K came out on 28th, so it was actually after hours on the 28th. So that's why this thing went ballistic on Friday. So the 28th was on Thursday. Friday at the open it went ballistic, and it was because they basically won a lawsuit against Intel, the processing company. Intel, yes, that Intel, the big, Intel Inside, the processor that's in my computer that I'm streaming through right now. They won a lawsuit, a patent infringement lawsuit at that. And so basically what HDVY had, and just to kind of show you what's going on here, and this is right on the Intel software website, which is kind of interesting. So this support vector machine with Intel is what this patent infringement case is all about. And so I actually got this from Kiko, who's one of our mentors within We Trade HQ. And he shared this with the group. I thought it was pretty interesting. There's really not much else that I need to explain to you about what this support vector machine is. Is that it's a supervised machine learning algorithm. So basically, the patent is about this algorithm, and so it's major. The thing is that Intel's been making money off of this, and so, you know, obviously there's a lot more to go through with litigation and, you know, basically HDVY getting their money back on royalties. That's kind of where I think this is headed. Okay. Do I think that there's going to be a continuation tomorrow? Well, looking at this chart, it looks as if, you know, after that crazy pop on Friday, that there was some nice consolidation. And what I'm talking about is like there's a lot of exchanging of hands here, which means that there wasn't any insane selling off. Every time somebody was selling, somebody was coming right back in and buying it because they still see value in HDVY. This could bode well for people looking to get in on Monday who may be just discovering this, and we could see a decent pop off of this. Now, again, this is a stock watch Sunday, right? This isn't a stock buy Sunday or anything like that. This is specifically for you to just kind of watch, observe, and see if you see value. If you do, then you know, make a play on it. There's been plenty of stocks that we've had on Stock Watch Sunday that have ran hundreds, even thousands of %. So this is just an attempt to just get you to kind of look to see if there's value here, and then make your plans accordingly. Now, here's what scares me about HDVY. This is why I sold it on Friday, and I'm hesitant on holding this overnight or even over a weekend, and it's because of this. So if you could see here, it's SEC delinquent. So basically, they are reporting to the SEC. All their filings get reported to the SEC, and they haven't had a Q filing, which is a quarterly filing, since November of 2016. That is extremely scary to make a play on something like this and hold it overnight, or even, you know, during the day. The SEC could come down and suspend this. So it's something that if you're making a play, understand the risk going on here, because this is seriously delinquent. I'm actually surprised that there hasn't been a suspension on this already. Having said that, Intel, this catalyst is a major catalyst. I think it is huge, and it could certainly run. But I think it was surprising and yet not surprising how there wasn't so much volume coming in on this. And I think the reason is because of this SEC reporting. This is a very thinly traded stock, which means it doesn't take a whole lot of money to move it. So there could be, you know, definitely opportunities to make some serious money on HDVY as long as the SEC doesn't lay the hammer down on them for being so delinquent. You know, oftentimes you see sometimes where, you know, attention finally gets drawn to something like HDVY, and the SEC is like, oh yeah, those guys, yeah, they haven't had a filing forever. We should probably do something about that. So just be cautious of this. Understand the risk that you're taking when you're playing with HDVY and this SEC reporting. There may be a chance, again, like I said, to make a play on this, but this would strictly be a day trade for me. It's not something that I'm considering holding overnight just because of that very risky play with them being delinquent. So that's the first one for the night. So yeah, Utopian Forever. Just want to answer that question real quick. The website I'm getting that information from is going to be otcmarkets.com. So if you go to OTC Markets, that's where you can find all the information on any over-the-counter stock ticker. So otcmarkets.com is where I get all that information from. Great question. Let's see, what else? How do you know whether or not we should invest in HDVY? So, you know, I kind of went over that, why I think that there's certainly value to be had with HDVY because of that lawsuit that they won, that patent infringement lawsuit. That can mean serious money for HDVY. We've seen this a lot of times where it'll be monster runs out of court cases, especially when they win like this. And so it's, you know, it's extremely risky. I'm not telling anybody that they should be buying this or that they have to buy it or anything like that. But there's definitely a case that could be made that if you're going to be buying around this 8-9 cent consolidation range, that you could be in good shape if this makes the right move. But again, like I said, understand the risk that you're taking with HDVY. But if they could somehow get filings out, here's the bigger thing. If they get their quarterly filings out and get them up to date, even within 6 months of, you know, being current, this thing will go ballistic. It will go ballistic if they can get filings together. If they don't, and they keep going down this road they've been going, it could spell trouble, and the SEC, like I said, could lay the hammer down on something like HDVY. All right. The next one's going to be LEAS. LEAS, everybody kind of knows about this one within the group. A lot of us within WeTrade HQ, not me. I didn't really see the value in it at first, so I just stayed away from it. It kind of sucks at this point, but a lot of folks within our WeTrade HQ group, as you can see here with all this volume going on, it's not all of us obviously, but there was a lot of volume that showed up at 0003, 0004 because that's when the reinstatement came out. Lots of people got excited about this, and it has been going up ever since. Mostly everybody within WeTrade HQ that I know of are riding free shares at this point. They sold their initial investment. They protected that, like we always try to preach to people, to manage risk. And it's just what a beautiful chart this is. It really is the thing of beauty. But the reason it's running is because of that reinstatement, and there's been some communication. Now, I've talked to you guys about this before, I think in one of my midday market recaps, that this Twitter account looked kind of sketch, and the CEO, his LinkedIn account looked kind of sketch. So again, but here's the thing. We're in the OTC, right? There's always something that's probably going to be sketch, at least with almost every single one of these tickers. But, that's there's times when, it's okay to play something such as this, and there's times when it's not. The one thing that I wanted to point out, though, that why I think this could potentially run on Monday is because the CEO did, in their official Twitter account, did come out with saying the merging corporation will be released once the company is pin current, and it is released prior to current could result in caveat emptor, which is not no bueno. If anybody who knows what a caveat emptor is, Mr. Bolvac continued, who is the CEO. The incoming business has $50 million in assets and $10 million in annual revenues. So that is a major announcement from the CEO. So it closed just at just a little bit green at 18%. It's at 33. It would not surprise me if we saw a significant gap up. We saw highs of 42. If this gains momentum and the money really starts to pour in, we see this kind of volume over here. If this kind of volume here, when we saw it at threes, 0003, 0004, and really look, you can look at this volume. There really hasn't been hardly any selling at all. There's certainly a case could be made for this to really kind of take off. I'm not going to really call out saying that there's going to be a penny move here. I think it's a little premature. But having said that, if this selling, if we don't see any selling off of this and we see that kind of buying volume up here in the 003, 004 range, it would not surprise me if it saw a penny or more. We'll see. If what he's saying is true, and they come out with an official PR about the business having $50 million in assets and $10 million in annual revenues, that's a very big deal for something like LEAS, especially with the momentum and the hype that it's already riding on. So as you can see with a lot of folks within our WeTrade HQ group, they have been in LEAS for some time, and looking forward to maybe seeing some pretty good continuation off of that. Just going to go back and see if there's any questions here. Jesse said you shouldn't invade it. Yeah, see, so Jesse kind of gets where I'm coming from with HDVY. Nice to see that. I wish I had the balls to trade stuff like this. Yeah, it takes some of that. So let's see here. Went to OC Marks. I've been there before. Oh, yes. So, yeah, just have to – we'll help you out. Utopian Fever, just reach out to me or anybody within WeTrade HQ. We'll help you get you squared away. So the last ticker I want to look at is what I'm watching is MEDH. And so there was some significant volume that came in. This is the half-hour chart that I'm looking at. Significant volume that came in on Friday. And obviously you can see it already ran a little bit at 55% on Friday alone. This is a very thinly traded stock. You're looking at the share structure. Actually, I don't want to go away from this page real quick, but let me just cover this real quick and I'll go to the share structure. So it says, with a commitment to our shareholders in mind, we're going into 2019 with the idea of issuing a dividend based on our expected passive income streams. Currently, we project our dividend will be around 0.125 per share and released quarterly based on earnings. Furthermore, regarding this will come later in a year as our objectives are attained. So with the increase in volume here, we haven't seen that kind of volume in quite some time. You guys know that I always like to look at stuff that has unusual volume. Something tells me that there's probably something going on here that perhaps we could see a catalyst relating to that dividend maybe this week or relatively soon. So this is kind of like one that I think is just kind of to really sit here and watch and try to make a type of entry. I like the entry here around 019 to see if it holds that support. Really down here in this lower range, it's you know, I don't know. It was awfully low there, so it looks like it's starting to curl back up here. We'll see if that sustains going in through, and barring any sort of catalyst that comes about this week. Oh yeah, and I wanted to cover the share structure too. This is what I liked about this. We like these low share structures. I don't particularly like them too low. This is cutting it close for me, just because, you know, you start to get into areas of liquidity and stuff like that. Being able to, as far as, you know, getting in and out efficiently may become difficult the smaller the float gets from here. But anything lower than that probably would maybe hesitate to get in. But, you know, as you can see here, 15 million, it's a very small float, would really take little buying volume to get this thing moving quick, fast, and in a hurry. So those are the 3 stocks that I'm watching this week, and see if we can make a play on that. 16 million float, David said, 227. Right. So, and that's kind of like what I was pointing out. It's like I think it could definitely make a move, barring any sort of significant catalyst. I think perhaps if there's a catalyst pertaining to that dividend, could definitely see a nice little move out of MEDH. Can you look at, Alan's asking, can you look at AWSL? Getting rid of debt. Share structure looks good. Float is old. We don't care if the float's old. I can tell you how to calculate the float. Okay. Your thoughts on KYNC? I think KYNC, the run is over. Some significant selling off yesterday, and so, or on Friday, and I think that it's, you know, maybe you can get away with buying a dip, but it looks like really based off of that PR was okay. It wasn't mind-blowing news for me. When you talk about the CEO addressing, you know, direction of the company, that's nothing official. CEO comes out and says, hey, we're planning on doing this, this, and that, and that's all it is. We're planning on doing this. It doesn't mean that they've actually done anything. So I think perhaps KYNC may have run out of gas at the end of Friday. I'd be surprised if it really kind of came back, to be honest with you. RGPP, VIBI, we'll see. We'll see on those. Yeah, thanks. How about liquidity on MEDH? Would it be hard to get out of that with a small float? It may be. So, you know, if the dollar volume starts to dry up, you know, certainly be one that you have to kind of watch like a hawk. There's a double-edged sword with, you know, something that has an extremely low float like that. So what I mean by that is that the good side of that share structure being the way that it is that it will run up easily with little buying volume. Will move that up. But consequently, on the other side of that is that, you know, it will take little selling volume. So if there's a bunch of people whacking the bid on that, it will take nothing for it to really kind of move down, and, you know, you could be in some serious trouble if you're not paying close attention to something that is being traded that thinly. INKW, we can talk about it a little bit. How do you feel about shorting pennies? It's really difficult to short in the OTC. Good luck finding a brokerage that will allow you to do that. CELZ, that's a bag, man. If you're holding on to CELZ, good luck. I don't know if there's any value to be had there. SHMP, I think it's overblown, overhyped. And so, okay, going back up to Alan's question, he wanted me to take a look at a ticker. We can take a look at it together. Let's see here. Which one was it? AWSL. So good. All right. AWSL. I'm going to share my screen again with you guys. AWSL. Take a look here. Whoops. AWSL. All right. So Alan likes the share structure here. This share structure, yeah, it's not, the float's not updated. That's right. So the only thing we got to go off of is the OS. The only thing we can do if all we have is the OS is assume that the OS is 244 million. which still isn't bad. That's pretty good. It's at trading at 6 cents. You know, if we have to look at the volume that's coming in, right? So if we're going, if we're going to look at volume, I'm going to the 30-minute chart. And I'm looking here. It looks like there's some decent volume that's coming in, and it looks like it has a pretty decent support at 5 cents flat. And what else were you saying about this, Alan? Let's see. I love the fact that Alan's actually bringing more to the table than thoughts on and just throwing a ticker at me. So thanks for that. Appreciate it. Getting rid of debt. So let's see here. If they did they put that in the news? Let's see. Supplemental information. Here it is. So they're retiring $1 million in debt. Wow, $1 million. So is that all of their debt? Well, let's find out. So if we go to their latest quarterly report, we can go and find to see how much convertible debt they actually have and see how significant this may actually be. So if we go in current liabilities, they don't have it listed here. This says turn. All right. Let's see. What else do they got here? Doesn't look like they're very forthcoming on that. It doesn't look like, though, whoops. It doesn't look like, though, that they have much to go off of. I mean, it doesn't look like they're really been diluting that much anyway. So a case could be made here that perhaps there's some value to be had. So we go to look at the Bollinger Bands, and let's just take a look here. Certainly could be one to watch for. So the way that it sold off on Friday, the way that it came down on Friday, it looked like it came back down on that 05 support. So as long as there's, you know, some buying volume that continues in here, if this was after hours that this came out on 3/1, then we could make a case here that perhaps we could see some significant movement on AWSL. But for me, this isn't going to be something where you just buy in at the open, right? You're going to have to take into account that, you know, there may be some selling at the open, or it might gap up and then come back. So, you know, I would give this some time after the open to see if this actually moves. But I do like the support here at 5 cents flat. We'll see how the market reacts to that type of news. Alrighty. What else we got? Let's see. John Murphy asks, could you ever see a joint video with Kiko? Actually, we have. So go check it out. I actually have a collaboration or podcast with Kiko. I have it in my playlists. So go check out the podcast playlists on my channel, and he is in there. LEAS. I already talked about LEAS, so not going back there. INBI. So INBI is a voluntary dismissal. If you go to my Twitter account, which you guys want to check out my Twitter account, it is at @OnlyChaos by all means. Feel free to do that. And I actually put a tweet out about this because there were so many people asking about INBI, and I burnt this thing quick, fast, in a hurry once I saw this. I don't know why, for whatever reason it was running. People maybe misunderstood this, but I try to make it as clear as possible. Notice a voluntary dismissal. This means that Richard Chang dropped this thing. He's not interested in INBI any longer, so any value to be had with INBI, any buying that was related to Chang coming into this is gone. So anybody who bought this on Friday, I noticed that Friday it ran quite a bit. That's probably a big no-no. If you're in this anymore, don't expect it to continue to run on Monday unless people are really filling your head with garbage, and there's a lot more people believing the garbage than not. I mean, seriously, like, I just would stay away from it. There's nothing else going on, you know. A bunch of hearing, a bunch of people telling you this is coming and that's coming, and that's not how you trade. How much do you pay attention to Investors Hub? I don't. So how about that? I like BB Stock, though, is actually my mentor. I like BB Stock. He's in WeTrade HQ. He actually spends a lot more time in WeTrade HQ now than he does in Investors Hub. So, you know, he's actually my mentor. He's taught me everything I know about the OTC, and so I feel very strongly about I like BB Stock. He's a great guy, does everything for anybody, doesn't ask anything in return. But you know, Investors Hub is a very toxic place from what I've experienced, and so that is why we created WeTrade HQ. That was the idea behind it was to get rid of that toxic type of environment. And we decided to expand that out to not just the OTC, but anybody trading anything. So with that, I will segue into the end of this video, which, again, if you are not part of WeTrade HQ, or if this is the first time you're visiting this channel, I highly encourage you to check out WeTrade HQ. It's absolutely free to join, and you can tell by the platform that I was using there that it's pretty user-friendly. If you want to look at our trading view charts, as well as our community itself, plenty of other tools to utilize there. And yeah. So no matter what you're trading with in the stock market, WeTrade HQ is the place for you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up to show support. And if you're not part of the OTC, if you want to learn more about OTCs, this is the only channel that involves over-the-counter penny stocks, period. So if you want to learn more about it, this is the only place you can do so on YouTube. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I will see you all before the bell. And B. Smith is out. Have a good weekend, guys, or enjoy the rest of your Sunday.